Okay, let's have a look at Renée O'Connor, who plays Gabrielle in Xena, Warrior Princess. Already looked at Lucy Lawless, and here is a convenient side-by-side shot of the two of them. Just want to jump straight into it and do a comparison of the legs as a defining feature here. So obviously they're bending at different angles, but here it looks like she has a lot more of a female kind of level of curve and healthy body fat to her legs than she does. So her legs are kind of the lanky look. It's a very tall person with lanky legs. And her posterior is very kind of flat. If this was a female, you'd expect to see more curve and more around here. So she has more curve to her in general, to her shape, and to all of her limbs than she does. Okay, I suppose this is a 80s haircut or something, I don't know. But just look essentially at the eyes. She's got a very gentle look. Now, there's a very intent focus in the eyes, but still, the appearance is very overwhelmingly gentle and feminine, in my opinion. Got a oval-shaped face and a kind of gentle slope to the jaw. It's not a wide jaw, and there's the chin comes to a point. If you look at the pupils, when someone isn't smiling or has just a small smile on their face so the mouth isn't stretched out to the sides, typically the corner of the mouth will meet the pupil. It's on a sort of line. So that's why with men and their broader faces and wider set eyes, they have bigger mouths. And this is why on MTF trannies, we really notice the huge smiles, because on natural women, you don't have such huge mouths to fit with all of the facial features, which are smaller and closer together and less pronounced. You know, the mouth fits with everything. The whole picture's got to work. So the actual shape of the lips too is very female. Often men will have a less full upper lip than women will. And so when you see a lot of FMTF trannies, they'll get lip injections, and it causes this kind of slug-like, unnatural appearance. But her lips look very natural to me. Small size, but female shape. And this nose has not had surgery, so this is a face that's not been touched by a knife, in my opinion. And it looks very feminine. She has a very kind of relatable, natural demeanor and look to her. It's got the natural curve and roundness to her cheek when she smiles, and the oval face. She does have a long forehead, and there is a slight brow ridge, but it's nothing really defined, and she has the small, gentle female eyes underneath this forehead dimension. So there's nothing jutting out, no bald bones or anything. A healthy level of female body fat. She's quite a slim person with a lot of muscle, but there is still a degree of essential fat that an athletic female would have. So also the curve to the hip and lower back in this area. The knees looking female as well. Chest looks natural to me. Another picture of her with Lucy Lawless. It's just incredible how different it looks looking between these two faces. I mean, take off this makeup, cut off this hair, and, well, you can't even really see much on the chest here, but you remove those features and it will look like you've got a man here with a woman. The chiseled face compared to the soft face. It's kind of open, warm, inviting smile that this person has got. Looks a little bit older here, not much, but to The collarbones are at more of an angle, which works with the sloping female shoulders. Softness to the short upper arms and the short lower arms. Another convenient comparison picture, and I like the pictures of her with Kevin Smith because of how drastically different they look. She's got a curved forehead, his is sloped. He's got a pronounced brow ridge. She doesn't. She's got a little bit of one, but I think it's consistent with the Caucasian race for females. Smaller nose than his. Yeah. Gentle line of the jaw compared to his, which is sharp. She's also got quite large ears for a female, but they are not quite his size, so there you have that. Delicate collarbones, yet again. Softness to the shape. Shorter arms than his long arms. And here we have, we can look at the back a bit. Because it's tucked in an odd way here, it's a bit hard to tell, but based on the curve of the hindquarters, the back would come up sort of like this as I'm tracing. So that is a consistent curve to a female spine, and it curves a little bit up here as well, so it seems very natural to me. Forearms are also noticeably short. There's a softness, a slope of the female chin to neck, that even though this is a slim person, because estrogen causes people to retain fat, women, when they attain maturity, will maintain a bit of fat in the face, gives it a softer appearance, and often causes, well, this isn't a double chin, but there are some fat deposits in the face. It's a female appearance. Again, a rounded appearance to the forehead, and, you know, hands look quite small, skull doesn't look over large. This looks normal and natural to me, not like a fake behind with a a Brazilian butt lift kind of thing. Legs look normal to me too. This looks like a cute, pudgy little girl to me. Everything about the energy seems like a female. This is also kind of blurry, but it's got the same kind of vibe as the baby look, with a very, soft, open female look and all the features we've mentioned again. As I noted before, she does have quite large ears, but that feature alone is not going to make me believe that this overwhelmingly feminine person is not feminine. Okay, so here we've got a figure that does not look very curvy. But to me, when we hear that women come in all shapes and sizes, well, they don't come in all shapes and sizes, but this is one of the many shapes and sizes they come in. I don't think she has a very pronounced hourglass figure. She's got a lot of muscle, but she does have you can tell that the waist indents here above her navel. And the hips do go out here. This is not a very flattering skirt, but you can tell that the hip does reach to this this point right under this very straight line skirt. And if you trace up to the shoulder, it matches where the shoulder bone is. She's got her shoulders tilted forward in this shot. Now, if you tilt the shoulders forward on a woman, these arms won't have the same kind of angle away from the body that they do if they're farther back, because as you can see, it's a little bit before, like it's in front of the hips. Hard to tell from this angle, but if you know what I mean, if she had her shoulders pushed back farther, then her arms would kind of angle out a little bit more. But already they don't seem to hang straight down, but a little bit out to the sides. She's got delicate collarbones, small-looking rib cage, and this skull, it does not fit 3 head widths, I would say, but more of female dimensions. if you look from where the actual shoulder bones are, and not where the curve of the arm and muscle is. So again, you can look at all the female facial traits, and well, it's not a tree trunk neck, it's a sloped neck, and it's fairly small, but again, she's a muscular person. Still, looks female. Another picture kind of showing the softness of this person's face. Very nice, gentle kind of female appearance to it all, and you don't see anything going on in the neck here. In most of the MTFs you'll see something at some point, but I'm not really ever seeing anything in hers. Again, this to me doesn't really seem like a brow ridge so much as just the shape of the head, and her eyes are very female underneath that, so. This one, it's easy to tell that she's got the female curve to the spine and lower back. As mentioned before, very muscular. You can see muscle everywhere, and yet she's not bony and sinewy. This to me looks like a good example of what a low but essential body fat level woman with a lot of muscle would look like. So yeah. Oh yeah, the feet as well. The feet look pretty normal size to me. Apparently if you take your foot and measure it the inside of your elbow to your wrist, it's supposed to be about the same length. And so that really fits with body proportions of women having smaller feet because their arms are also shorter than men's are. So men have longer feet and longer arms. Women have shorter feet and shorter arms, and it seems consistent with what we're seeing here. Widow's peak. Narrow jaw, pointed chin, gentle female gaze, small kind of button nose look, which isn't achieved through surgery because this doesn't look like a fake hacked up nose. So this picture's a little bit odd to me. You know, but still small body, small torso. Not seeing anything very jutting and muscular going on, even though she's quite thin in this picture. The arms are still notably thin. Short, notably short, and the face is still looking female to me. Not very nice, what they've done with the hair and the makeup here. I think it gives her a harsher look. But still, the underlying features look female to me. Now here, with the curve here and the line here, you can see that the hips and the curve of the back go higher up on the back than you'd expect on an MTF. There's a bit of softness around here, small hands, curve everywhere as is consistent in females, curve to the cheek, all the same as what I've mentioned before. Here, you can see her head is not 3 shoulder widths, and though she's a slim person, she doesn't have jutting bones like men do and like male to female transgenders do. So, essentially, soft female appearance. Same here. Well, widow's peak, no defined brow ridge, small eyes, close set, small nose, not a huge distance between the nose and the mouth, small mouth, pointed chin, narrow jaw. In this one again you can see the back curves and begins to curve out there as well. And here the digit ratio is looking like the index and ring finger are about the same to me. But I already would say that this person probably has a higher level of testosterone just based on the muscle definition in her body. So I don't know how much stock you can place in the digit ratio to begin with, but Normally when we have MTFs leaning back their heads like this, you see something in there, but still, we're not seeing anything, so I trust that this neck is female. Slope to the neck, shorter neck overall. The shoulders consist of the upper, the lower part here, below the neck. Even with the lighting, you can still see this is a softer curve to the jaw, rounded forehead again. And here, a very female curve to the thigh. I don't see that on men, but you do have... Women just have curves everywhere, pretty much. She's a small person. I think she's about 5'6". And overall, she just does have a small appearance. She doesn't have a really, as mentioned before, she doesn't have a really pronounced hourglass figure. But when women build abs and, all the different muscles that go through the midsection, it does thicken the waist. The thing is, you can still tell that her waist begins up here and comes down. It's just not at the angle that you see in a lot of women who have a very pronounced hourglass figure and lesser muscle mass than this person. But still, female face, smaller shoulders. Everything about the dimensions look quite female. You're seeing a Q angle here too. Looks like the hip bone would be about out here, which is about the same as the hips. And the thigh bone would come in like that, which does create a more pronounced Q angle. Same things we've mentioned before. Looking older, but still looking female, which most of the MTFs don't. And she doesn't look like she's had any plastic surgery either. You can see some fine lines on the more delicate female skin. Females typically have thinner and less oily skin than men, so often when they age they'll have more fine lines. And you do see that on her, so it doesn't look like she's really done any work to her face and is just aging like a normal female. Young again with, the aforementioned healthy levels of body fat and considerable amount of muscle, still looking consistent with what a very strong girl would look like. Again, this face just looks so female to me. And the look in the eyes is female too. It's not this harsh, projected energy, It seems very female. I didn't know that she had a child, but, apparently she was pregnant at some point. And I know that in these deceptions, a lot of the MTFs will wear pregnancy bumps to create the illusion of having children, but, I could believe that this person's actually had a child. And in this picture, you see she has got the kind of glowing, flushed face that pregnant women often get, so either someone did a really good makeup job and made her look pregnant, or she's pregnant. Okay, another, soft-looking face. The neck does look weird here. This is a weirder-looking neck. The hand doesn't look like it doesn't look like it'd be huge on the face. And here, I'm not sure if it's the nail length or what, but now the ring finger does look a little longer than the index. But again, I wouldn't take that as, when you take into consideration all the rest of the factors, I don't know if you could just say, oh, but the ring finger's longer, so it's a man. I don't think that's correct. Another comparison of her with Lucy Lawless, which is always great because of this fierce look that's always there in the eyes and the gentle look in the eyes. Just look between both sets of eyes and see if there isn't something different. Look between the facial structures and see if there isn't something different. Here we've got what seems to be a gentle damsel in distress and the warrior man who's got makeup and hair on. Here, I'm just taking note of how, again, there's curve everywhere on her. She's got the curve of the lower back and the hip in all of the limbs. Just looks very, very female overall. Either they've done an incredible job on her, or she's just female compared to him. Seems like she's tilting her pelvis forward a little bit, but still, there's a curve. There's a curve to the back and the lower back. So curvy spine is female. I would say that the pelvis is tilted forward because there's more of a curve at the front as well. For women, if they're standing straight, there's not so much of a curve because the pelvis tilts back, but because the curve goes outward at the front, it means she's probably tilting this forward. It's just the posture that she's standing in. But still, yeah, you see the curve. Ribcage looks pretty normal sized. Legs look pretty normal sized. Joints look female. Short arms, small hands, female face, female skull size. Compared to our hero man in drag here. And a comparison of her with Kevin Smith again. They're just so different. The brow ridge, lack of brow ridge, small mouth, wider mouth. Closer together, smaller eyes, farther spaced eyes. Broad cheekbones, broad jaw, opposite. Small hand, big hands. Just a great comparison. And here she's looking thinner again than before. But yet we don't have bulging bones. We have delicate collarbones. We have sloping shoulders. And yeah, the female facial traits. Navel below the top of the waist indentation. Hips coming out, matching the width of the shoulders. So Renée O'Connor, to me, seems like a female. Maybe I'm being deceived, but if so, it's a really brilliant deception because pretty much every picture you look at, there's no question that she seems female.